Hello, lovely senior squirrel squad. And I don't mean senior as in old, because none of us are old. Even Madonna. Madonna, you know I'm just speaking with you. Look at our little Josephine. Madonna got us that sign right there. Josephine, cute. I got to girly my girls up. And these little buttons, my little squirrel buttons. Oh my gosh, you're still sitting right up there. I gotta put them, I gotta learn to make wearables so I can put them on something. All these up here, my new little nut and shell from Miss Beth and Opie from Rebecca. Ah, aren't they so cute? Y'all are fabulous. I just love this. I can't tell you how much this makes me want to cross stitch. And I've got some cross stitch right over there. I used to do that. I think I told y'all before I started knitting. Okay, here we go. A good deal of hammering went on before the curtain rose again, but when it became evident what a masterpiece of stage carpentering had been got up, no one murmured at the delay. It was truly superb. A tower rose to the ceiling. Halfway up appeared a window with a lamp burning at it, and behind the white curtain appeared Zara in a lovely blue and silver dress, waiting for Rodrigo. He came in gorgeous array with plumed cap, red cloak, chestnut love locks, a guitar, and the boots, of course. Kneeling at the foot of the tower, he sung a serenade in melting tones. Zara replied, and after a musical dialogue, consented to fly. Then came the grand effect of the play. Rodrigo produced a rope ladder with 5 steps to it, threw up one end, and invited Zara to descend. Timidly, she crept from her lattice, put her hand on Rodrigo's shoulder, and was about to leap gracefully down when, alas for Zara, she forgot her train. It caught on the window. The tower tottered, leaned forward, fell with a crash, and buried the unhappy lovers in the ruins. A universal shriek arose, and the russet boots waved wildly from the wreck, and a golden beard emerged, exclaiming, "I told you so, I told you so." With wonderful presence of mind, Don Pedro, the cruel sire, rushed in and dragged out his daughter with a hasty aside. "Don't laugh. Act as if it was all right." Oh, mercy me. Here's my rag. I can tell. Where did it go? Oh, I used the fancy one today, it being Sunday. Oh, my goodness. Okay, and ordering Rodrigo vanishing from the kingdom and wrath with scorn. Though decidedly shaken by the fall of the tower upon him, Rodrigo defied the old gentleman and refused to stir. This dauntless example fired Zara. She also defied her sire, and he ordered them both to the deepest dungeons of the castle. A stout little retainer came in with chains and led them away, looking very much frightened and evidently forgetting the speech he ought to have made. Act third was the castle hall, and here Hagar appeared, having come to free the lovers and finish Hugo. She hears him coming and hides, sees him put the potions into 2 cups of wine, and bid the timid little servant bear them to the captives in their cells, and tell them I shall come anon. The servant takes Hugo aside to tell him something, and Hagar charges the cups for 2 others, which are harmless, Ferdinando, the minion, carries them away, and Hagar puts back the cup which holds the poison meant for Rodrigo. Hugo, getting thirsty after a long warble, drinks it, loses his wits, and after a good deal of clutching and stamping, falls flat and dies, while Hagar informs him what she has done in a song of exquisite power and melody. This was a truly thrilling scene, though some persons might have thought that the sudden tumbling down of a quantity of long hair rather marred the effect of the villain's death. He was called before the curtain, and with great propriety appeared, leading Hagar, whose singing was considered more wonderful than all the rest of the performance put together. Act 4 displayed the despairing Rodrigo on the point of stabbing himself because he has been told that Zara has deserted him. Just as the dagger is at his heart, a lovely song is sung under his window informing him that Zara is true but in danger, and he can save her if he will. A key is thrown in which unlocks the door, and in a spasm of rapture he tears off his chains and rushes away to find and rescue his lady love. Act 5 opened with a stormy scene between Zara and Don Pedro. He wishes her to go into a convent, but she won't hear of it, and after a touching appeal is about to faint when Rodrigo dashes in and demands her hand. Don Pedro refuses because he is not rich. They shout and gesticulate tremendously but cannot agree, and Rodrigo is about to bear away the exhausted Zara when the timid servant enters with a letter and a bag from Hagar, who has mysteriously disappeared. The latter informs the party that she bequeaths untold wealth to the young pair and an awful doom to Don Pedro if he doesn't make them happy. The bag is opened and several quarts of tin money shower down upon the stage till it is quite glorified with the glitter. This entirely softens the stern sire. He consents without a murmur. All join in a joyful chorus, and the curtain falls upon the lovers, kneeling to receive Don Pedro's blessing in attitudes of the most romantic grace. Tumultuous applause followed, but received an unexpected check, for the cot bed on which the dress circle was built suddenly shot up and extinguished the enthusiastic audience. Rodrigo and Don Pedro flew to the rescue, and all were taken out unhurt, though many were speechless with laughter. The excitement had hardly subsided when Hannah appeared with Mrs. March's compliments, and with the ladies walked down to supper. This was a surprise even to the actors, and when they saw the table, they looked at one another in rapturous amazement. It was like Marmee to get up a little treat for them, but anything so fine as this was unheard of since the departed days of plenty. There was ice cream, actually 2 dishes of it, pink and white, and cake and fruit and distracting French bonbons, and in the middle of the table 4 great bouquets of hothouse flowers. It quite took their breath away, and they stared first at the table and then at their mother, who looked as if she enjoyed it immensely. "Is it fairies?" asked Amy. "It's Santa Claus," said Beth. "Mother did it," said Meg, Meg smiled her sweetest in spite of her gray beard and white eyebrows. "Aunt March had a good fit and sent the supper," cried Joe with a sudden inspiration. "All wrong. Old Mr. Lawrence sent it," replied Mrs. March. "The Lawrence boy's grandfather. What in the world put such a thing into his head? We don't even know him," exclaimed Meg. "Hannah told one of his servants about your breakfast party. He is an odd old gentleman, but that pleased him. He knew my father years ago, and he sent me a polite note this afternoon, saying he hoped I would allow him to express his friendly feeling toward my children by sending them a few trifles in honor of the day. I could not refuse, and so you have a little feast at night to make up for the bread and milk breakfast. That boy put it into his head. I know he did. He's a capital fellow, and I wish we could get acquainted. He looks as if he'd like to know us, but he's bashful, and Meg is so prim she won't let him speak to me when we pass. And Joe, as the plates went round and the ice began to melt out of sight in ohs and ahs of satisfaction. Oh, and that was said Joe, excuse me. You don't mean the people who live in the big house next door? Oh, you mean the people who live in the big house next door, don't you? Asked one of the girls. My mother knows old Mr. Lawrence, but says he's very proud and don't like to mix with his neighbors. He keeps his grandson shut up when he isn't riding or walking with his tutor, and makes him study dreadful hard. We invited him to our party, but he didn't come. Mother says he's very nice, though he never speaks to us girls. Our cat ran away once, and he brought her back, and we talked over the fence, and were getting on capitally, all about cricket and so on, when he saw Meg coming and walked off. I mean to know him some day, for he needs fun. I'm sure he does, said Joe decidedly. I like his manners, and he looks like a little gentleman, so I've no objection to your knowing him if a proper opportunity comes. He brought the flowers himself, and I should have asked him in if I had been sure what was going on upstairs. He looked so wistful as he went away, hearing the frolic and evidently having none of his own. It's a mercy you didn't, Mother, laughed Joe, looking at her boots, but we'll have another play sometime that he can see. Maybe he'll help out. Wouldn't that be jolly? I never had such a fine bouquet before. How pretty it is, said Meg, examining the flowers with great interest. They are lovely, but Beth's roses are sweeter to me, said Mrs. March, smelling the half-dead posy in her belt. Beth nuzzled up to her and whispered softly, I wish I could send my bunch to Father. I'm afraid he isn't having such a Merry Christmas as we are. That's the end of chapter 2. I really wish I could read one chapter at a time. Golly, some are so long and others are short. No, it looks like most of them are long. Let me look at the table of contents a minute. Excuse me. Let me see. Costs. Yeah, they're roundabout close to like 20 pages. Most of them are, it looks like. Some not so long. You know how chapters are. Well, I know that wasn't a whole lot, but I really would like to try to start reading. I don't know if I can. But I would love to try. The next chapter goes from 35. Here's 45, so that's 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 pages. Of course, the book's not real big. But I'll stop there and hope you won't care too much if I try to do it like that. And like I say, it may not work. Well, doggone it. Somebody sent me this beautiful bookmark. And I want to say, no, I'm not going to say. I don't remember who sent this to me. but it's beautiful. So if you see it and you made it, just comment. I'd like to thank you again for it. There we go. I was going to say I marked the pages with the, here's my squirrel thing. A squirrel wiping rag. Oh my goodness. And yes, Thais, I still have your beautiful yarn. Everything y'all give me is right here waiting on me. This is what Thais gave me. I got this from somewhere and it's gorgeous, but it feels crazy. I think it's some kind of linen, but it doesn't really feel like cotton. And Thais gave me these little teeny weeny bonbons, I call them, which would make a nice little cow, a little striped cow. I think that's what I'll do with that. We'll see. I'm just still trying to get whips done, and then I find more. Like the hat I was doing a while ago, I did get it fixed. I had a drop stitch a while ago. Isn't that pretty? It's Comfy Cotton Flower Garden. It's not a new one. I've had this yarn. And also, just to show you some fiber, I'm going to use this for a baby blanket, and I've already started one somewhere. My bedroom is full of whips, but they're like bags and bags and bags. Crazy. I love y'all very, very much, as always, and I pray for you too. And I'm feeling lots better. I think I'm getting back to myself. I didn't drive anywhere today. Didn't have to. And I haven't fallen asleep any today. Don't think I have. But I've been up stirring around, moving around, so that helps. But I'm getting ready to go sit in my chair, put my feet up, and try and get some crocheting and knitting on those whips done. Or at least worked on a good bit. Okay, oh, pray for Sharon. Sharon's Crochet Corner. She's without power from the hurricane. Pray for anybody that was in the path. There's lots of people to sub to. We've got several new squirrels in our squad. So if you didn't make the live chat, or even if you did and you didn't get to sub to everybody, hopefully everybody subs to everybody else. That's, you know, if my lives are nothing but that, I'm happy. And it's always fun just to chat with you guys. But I want us to be helpful to one another. I'm like, yeah, we'll get the squirrel squad on it. I love saying that and being able to depend on you folks. And let's go up and see our beautiful cross, especially on Sunday, and all the beautiful squirrels. Sign that Sue got. Lots of cards that you guys got. A lot of cards over here, and I don't have them all up. Anyway, I love you each and every one. Again, praying for all of you and whatever your needs might be. If you have any prayer concerns and want to put them down in the comments, of course, always feel free to do that. Any channels you want shouted out and need help for, even if it's your own, that's fine. Okay, be sweet. Don't be ugly. Remember my live tomorrow at 5. Don't wait on notifications. Mark it on your calendar. Set your alarm. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 Eastern. 5 p.m. Eastern. Saturday and Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Love ya. Bye-bye.